Hi, and welcome to What's New in Office 365 Administration. I'm Tom Batchelor, and today we're going to talk about what's new in the Office 365 admin portal for Office 365 administrators. Let's get started. When we design the Office 365 administration portal, we make a couple of promises to our customers. We continue to evolve the Office 365 admin tools to make them smarter so that you can always manage Office 365 effectively. But we also want to deliver you the quickest, best, and most powerful experience when you're managing your Office 365 environment. Today, we're going to give you an overview about the new features that we've introduced that are coming that will make Office 365 and the admin experience smarter and enable you to manage Office 365 more effectively. We divide today's presentation into three separate areas, and we've focused a lot on three separate areas of improvement for the Office 365 Administration Center. We believe that smart admin tools should be personalized, very much like a smartphone, making your job easier from start to finish. There should be a guided experience that helps you get things done quicker. We also believe that admin tools should be actionable. When you see information, you should be able to take action on that information instantly. Smart admins should be able to do complex tasks quickly and easily, and you shouldn't have to search just to get access to the information and the tools that you need. And most importantly, admin tools need to be functional. They need to provide you with advanced functionality in a simple way and that support the requirements of an enterprise customer. I can tell you that we'll have a look at some of the new admin centers later on today, and that we're also going to have a look at some of the great new features that are coming over the next year. Let's get started with how we're personalizing the admin center. Let's take a look at the example of a cell phone. Today, your phone is also a phone book. You can look up places like restaurants, and when you do that, you're also able to go and make a reservation directly from your phone. So your phone streamlines the whole process for you. This is how we approach the admin center as well. We asked ourselves at the beginning of the year, how can the admin center help you streamline the tasks that admins are doing every single day? Many of you are using the admin center to come in and do a task over and over again, and we've heard from you that some of these tasks are either challenging or very cumbersome to try and complete. Today we're introducing admin guides. Admin guides are a quick and easy way to streamline very common tasks. Take an employee leaving a company, for example. Often you start with removing the license for an employee, then you offboard them, then you might have to deal with what happens with their data. If you do any of this in the wrong order, you can significantly impact the productivity of the people around that user. You can lose files, or you can accidentally cut off a user's work and access to all of their SharePoint sites too early. Now what we've done is templated this process for you to help it make it easier than ever before to offboard users. Today we're going to show you an example of what it looks like to offboard a user with the new admin guide experience. Here I am in the Office 365 Admin Center. You can see in here that I have Anne Michaels. She's an employee at Fabricam and she's a product manager from our Gadget team. Anne's leaving, and so what I want to do is take a quick action to make sure that her information is both secured and saved, but that her access is also cut off. On the top right-hand side here, you can see a new button that says Offboard User. When I click Offboard User, I'm now given a wizard-based approach to offboarding this user. What do we want to do first? Well, we want to make sure that Anne can't access herself. What if we don't trust her? What if she's been made redundant or she's been fired? Of course, she's also been working on a lot of important projects, and we've created some very important PowerPoint presentations with her. So we want to make sure that she doesn't have access to them. The first thing we're going to do is press Block Access. In this admin guide, you can see exactly why we want to block this access, and you can also see what the impact of this action is going to be. The next step in this three-step project is transferring or deleting her OneDrive and her SharePoint files. Now here I can see that we can transfer her files either to someone else in the organization, or we can not give anyone else access and her files will be deleted after 30 days. In here, I'm going to type in Brady. I'm going to transfer that to him by pressing Next, and it's done. Now Brady has access to all of Anne's OneDrive files, and we don't lose access to those when Anne leaves the organization. Last but not least, we have access to Anne's email. Do we want to completely delete her mailbox, or do we want to convert it to a shared mailbox and make sure that people on Anne's team are still able to go in and access her information after they've left? What we've done here is we can go in here and choose to transfer the email to up to 3 members. I'm going to go in here and say I want to give access to Anne's inbox to Baiju, to Brady, and to Gopi. I've added those in here, and now I've sent access to her mailbox to those 3 members. Now that that's been up-leveled to a shared mailbox, that's able to be accessed, and I can go and I can view Anne's mailbox from the list of my shared mailboxes in the Office 365 Admin Center. I can also edit the preferences for Anne's shared mailbox in the same way I manage all Office 365 shared mailboxes. We're looking at all of these guides and seeing where else we can streamline some of the common tasks that people are doing every single day to make it quicker and easier for you to do these in a single flow, as opposed to jumping around throughout the Admin Center. Another great new feature that we're introducing is expanding the amount of customization that are available to different admins. We've heard from you that there are a lot of things you do occasionally, but there are many things that you do every day. And we wanted to make this experience more personal for every single user. What I'm going to show you here is a preview of the new targeted Admin Center experience that we're working on, focusing on the top tasks that admins tend to do, including things like managing licenses and users and billing. Now, we've always had customization in the Admin Center. You've always been able to go in and customize the dashboard and rearrange the tiles. Now we're allowing you to also go in and customize the left-hand navigation and the menus within the Admin Center. Here in the Office 365 Admin Center, you can see this new focused view in action. We've removed a lot of the clutter from what you're seeing here, and we're also focusing the navigation on the left. Look at the Admin Center here. We've got a couple of dashboards that we think are really useful to us. Adding users we know is one of the most common tasks that people do every day. Checking on total balance and any of the balance that's due on our billing, as well as installing software and links to videos for admin training. But on the left-hand side, one of the changes is that we've reduced the amount of items in the left-hand navigation menu. Here I just have users, groups, and billing to match my dashboard. Let's say that reporting is also something that's really useful for us. Now, when we normally have the Admin Center, it would look like this. It would be a big, long list of Admin Centers on the left-hand side. Now, under the settings at the bottom of the Admin Center menu, I can see an Edit button. When I go in there and I click the Edit button, I'm now able to go and change the look and feel of my navigation menu. Here I have users, groups, and billing, as I previously had highlighted. I'm going to go in here and I can either turn off admin customization or on as I see fit. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add reports. Now that I've added reports, you can see that my menu items have changed on the left-hand side, and we now have a reports button in there for me to quickly and easily access the reporting Admin Center. One of the great new things that we're also going to do is add recommendations. When we are customizing the Admin Center for people, we understand that every organization is different. Sometimes we know that the global defaults or the settings that we set for you as an admin don't always work for your business. That's why we're moving to a system of recommendations. We're going to take data based on Office 365 tenants worldwide to help recommend top tasks that you should complete as an Office 365 admin. A really great example of this is passwords. Often, organizations will set limits on what people need to set for their Office 365 password requirements. Sometimes this doesn't necessarily work for an organization. If you're asking your users to reset their passwords too often, we find that sometimes they're not setting as safe passwords as they probably should be. Now, with recommendations, what we'll do is help you craft a password policy that best suits the users for your organization, rather than just applying a global default to every single organization in the world. Moving on. We focused a little bit on how we're personalizing the Action Center. Now let's take a look at how we're making the Admin Center more actionable. When you purchase Office 365, it's your investment, and we want to make sure that you are getting all the value you possibly can out of your tenant. That's why we introduced Office 365 Admin Reporting. The Office 365 Admin Reporting and the Office 365 Usage API gives you access to the information and tools you need to help you understand how Office 365 is being used throughout your business. We've been focusing a lot on admin reporting, and we've introduced a new Office 365 Usage API that allows you to pull information from across your tenant and use it in your own reporting. The usage reporting tools have always been able to help you understand how your users are using Office 365 and why it's important, but what it will now help you do is take action on that information as well. I'm going to show you a demo now of the Office 365 Usage API in action and the new Power BI Content Reporting Pack. Here I am in the Office 365 Usage Reporting dashboard. This is powered by Power BI and the Office 365 Usage APIs. I can see in here that I have a lot of information about not only what's happening in my tenant, but also how my users are using the tools that are available to them. We've got in here different sections. On the top, you can see the communication section. I can see stats for both Exchange and Yammer. And over here, I can see how people are even accessing Yammer, whether or not they're doing it on the web, on their iPhone, on a dashboard, on a desktop machine. For OneDrive for Business, for example, I can see things like how many files I have, how much storage is being used, and how many active files I have versus how much is available in the tenant all up. But I can also go in here and I can deep dive into some of these reports. I'm going to go and click on OneDrive for Business and deep dive into the reporting that's available for me here. Now, what's really important about the usage reporting dashboard is that all of these reports are available and customizable in Power BI. If it doesn't necessarily meet your needs today, you can go in here and update it to make sure that you're reflecting what's useful information for your business. I'm going to go in here and look at OneDrive usage. In OneDrive usage, I can go in and I can see how many users are enabled for the service versus how many users are actually using it. I can also go in here and look at how much usage is happening by type, whether or not it's files, how often those files are being accessed. I can see how many documents I have in OneDrive, but also how many active documents I have in OneDrive. And I can also see trends in usage over time. So I can see in here, right from October 2016 through to August 2017, exactly what's happening in my OneDrive for Business tenant. I can see in here how many total accounts I have and also how many total files. And as I said before, because this is all available in Power BI, this information is all available for you to go in there and customize these reports so that they're important and useful for your business. We also know that an important part of being an Office 365 administrator is making sure that the service is working, that people understand how much they have access to, and what applications and software is coming their way. Not only in terms of driving usage, but also in terms of making sure that your employees are ready to use the tools and understand if any changes are taking place. That's why we've also introduced the Office 365 Message Center. Last year, we talked a lot about the Message Center and some of the capabilities that we've introduced there. But something that's new this year is something that we're calling the Office 365 Message Center Weekly Digest. We know that not all of you go into the Admin Center every single day, but you still want to understand what changes are happening within your tenant. That's where this Message Center announcement comes in. This email comes to your inbox and summarizes all of the announcements from the last week that are relevant to you as an Office 365 administrator, making it easy for you to keep on top of all the changes going on in your tenant. Not only do your end users need to learn about the new features and software coming their way, but you as Office 365 administrators need to as well. Especially in the cloud, features, functionality, and services are constantly evolving, and in order to keep on top of it, you need access to the best training resources possible. That's why we've introduced new resources for you to learn better and to understand what's happening in the Office 365 tenants that you have. The new Microsoft Tech Academy is a platform that gives you access to free multimedia training and combines various readiness and learning platforms for IT professionals into a single place. This is an amalgamator of all the different learning content we previously had available across a number of different tools for you to be able to access in a single point of learning. We have learning pathways to help kickstart or advance your Microsoft Cloud expertise, and the content is always up to date. You can also search across all items from all the different various platforms that we have to make sure that you are getting access to the training that you need. We've also updated the Office Training Center. This is the training center that you can access when you click on Train Your People from within the Office 365 Admin Center. With new video training, quick start guides, and templates, it's now a powerful place for you to both send your users to understand the Office 365 content that's available to them, but also for you to pull training content to send out to them proactively. There's great new features here, including 5 basic training videos that are only a minute long and are very easy to consume that allow users to get started with Office 365 very quickly. When we roll out new features, we make sure that these are always up to date, and there's over 130 training resources for your people that you can send out starting today. You can access that at aka.ms/office training, and you can access the new Tech Academy at techacademy.microsoft.com. We've talked now about how the Admin Center is becoming both more personal and more actionable, but let's talk a little bit about how it's becoming more functional. The Office 365 Admin Center is designed for businesses of all size, and it's really important to us that we deliver enterprise-level advanced functionality for each of the admins to use. We understand that every business is different and that everyone has different requirements, and I'm going to talk to you today about how we're making sure that each of the advanced scenarios that we're enabling is available for every Office 365 administrator. One of the first things that I want to show you is something that we've had a lot of requests for. In many organizations, IT management is split amongst various members of the IT department. It's not always managed by one person, and even in small businesses, we find that sometimes there's an administrator for Exchange and another administrator for file management in SharePoint and OneDrive. Large organizations are sometimes made up of many autonomous divisions, like a West Coast division or an East Coast division, and sometimes marketing departments or engineering departments and sales departments can be so big that they're supported by their own IT. Now, you can give IT admins controlled access to be able to manage users and set policies specifically for the division that they are responsible for, whether that's the West Coast and the East Coast, marketing and sales, or just Exchange or SharePoint. Now, as the central admin, you're able to grant these divisional administrators permissions over the users in their particular divisions. To help you with that, we've added support for Azure Active Directory administrative units to the Office 365 Admin Center. Now, today, we only support administrative units for user actions, but this will expand over time. Let me show you what this looks like. Here I am in the Office 365 Admin Center. And in this particular example, we have both a North Coast and a West Coast operations for our business. On the top right-hand side, you can now see the scope of both the roles for the admin centers. This is a global admin view, so I can see both the North Coast and the West Coast scopes. But if I wanted to, I could restrict an administrator to one of these scopes. Now, when I go in here and I press on the scope and select West Coast, I'm able to only see West Coast users and take action on those users. Another great new feature is the SharePoint Admin Center. We always have a lot of SharePoint admins that focus specifically on the SharePoint administrative experience, and they've requested for a very long time a lot of new features in the Office 365 Admin Center. Like the new SharePoint sites, the new SharePoint admin experience is going to get a lot more simpler, more intuitive, and more powerful. We also believe that administration should be as simple as the user experience, and that's why we've taken a lot of cues from the end user SharePoint experience as we design this one. Soon, we'll be starting to roll out the revamped SharePoint Admin Center that draws heavily on our modern principles. Here you can see the SharePoint Admin Center here. The redesigned home surfaces a lot of information and can help you quickly discover important information about the service, both its health and how your organization is using SharePoint Online. There'll also be a new site management experience, borrowing from the modern list experience in SharePoint Online. The new site management page will give you a one-stop shop for viewing and managing most of the important aspects of SharePoint Online sites. You'll be able to sort and filter and discover information about your sites and their activity. The new SharePoint Admin Center will begin to be available to first release tenants early this year. Another popular request that we have had is for us to bring all of our communications admin centers together. At Ignite, we announced that Microsoft Teams will evolve as the primary client for intelligent communications in Office 365, replacing the current Skype for Business client over time. To enable you to better manage the various aspects of Microsoft Teams and Skype for Business, we're bringing Microsoft Teams and Skype Admin Center together to be available into a new unified admin experience. Not only that, we're also going to combine the Call Quality Dashboard, the Skype for Business Admin Center, and the Office 365 Admin Center into a single coherent experience. You'll have a one-stop location to manage all aspects, both of Teams and Skypes, but you'll also be able to find settings from the Office 365 Admin Portal that were previously separate. Going forward, we will bring analytics to enable specific scenarios. For example, we'll enable you to view configuration of a user and data about their recent call and meeting quality side by side. You'll have the tools you need to make decisions right from within the dashboard. We're also bringing the Skype for Business Admin Center, formerly the Lync Admin Console, adding in some of those core capabilities as well. This is an example of exactly what that looks like. Now, this is an early design, and it may change before we release it, but we wanted to give you a preview. The homepage will surface important information to you in the cards, just like the Office 365 Admin Center. The cards will surface information like call quality or call volume, and will make sure that the most important cards for your business are surfaced up front. Like in the main admin center, you can customize the homepage or remove and rearrange the cards so you have the ones that matter to you. And by clicking any of the cards, you can access richer data sets and view the reporting underneath. Because some of you have security and compliance needs that require you to store data locally, we're helping by introducing multi-geo capabilities in Office 365. Previously, to meet those needs, you often needed to stand up on-premises servers in various locations to store the data for those employees in a compliant way. Not only is that approach costly, but it also creates silos across the organization, preventing employees from collaborating and hindering innovation and productivity. That's where multi-geo comes in. Multi-geo is a new feature that enables a single Office 365 tenant to span across multiple Office 365 data center geographies, or geos. Multi-geo is currently in preview for OneDrive and Exchange, with the SharePoint preview coming very soon. If you're interested to participate in the preview, please contact your local Microsoft account team. Now, a quick look at the Office 365 Admin Center roadmap. We've already recently released or are rolling out the Message Center Weekly Digest. That's the email that comes into your inbox that summarizes the notifications you might have missed, as well as major updates rollout notifications. The Shared Email Assisted Guide is rolled out, as well as the Focused Admin Experiences is currently in the process of rolling out. Usage reporting, including the Microsoft Teams report, the Reporting Graph API, and the Reports Reader role, are all in the process of rolling out as well. Over the next 6 months, you'll see the SharePoint Admin Center go GA, as well as Office 365 Usage Analytics. We're also rolling out multi-geo capabilities, available now in preview, the Microsoft Teams and the Skype Admin Center, the Message Center admin role, as well as some new activity reports for OneNote and Staff Hub. Lastly, the user management optimization is also coming over the next 6 months. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about what's coming in the Office 365 Admin Center experience. A lot of you have heard us talk about Microsoft 365. Microsoft 365 brings together the best of Windows 10, Office 365, and enterprise mobility and security. With Microsoft 365, we're pivoting our product group in a significant way to deliver these services as an integrated, complete solution. Microsoft 365 is a product. It's not just a combination of our existing 3 products, but will allow you to administer your entire experience across Windows 10, EMS, and Office 365 in a single, seamless, and coherent way. Microsoft 365 has intelligence built in, whether it's AI to drive user creativity or help secure and manage the environment, and it's going to represent a fundamental shift in how we design, build, deliver, and support each of those 3 products. With Microsoft 365, we're looking for opportunities to think about how this will all come together. Something that we're focusing on is putting together a new unified admin center that covers all 3 of these products in one easy place. Now you won't have to leave the Office 365 Admin Center for the EMS Admin Center to manage advanced identity settings. Soon, we'll be bringing it all together into a seamless, coherent environment and make it easier for you to do the tasks you're doing every single day, currently on multiple platforms. That's it for us today. If you have any questions, please make sure to connect with us on the Microsoft Tech community, and we look forward to talking with you about your Office 365 admin experience in the future. Thank you so much.